most Amazon sellers fail their launches, and believe it or not, it's not because of the product, because not the product quality most of the time, or the photos, or the listing, etc. It's because the way they set up their PPC campaigns and they're not trading the algorithm the right way. So I'll show you the fundamentals of how the launches are done properly in a way that makes it as successful as possible. And if you get this wrong, no matter the amount of ad spend you're gonna put on that product, it will not save you. So you have to understand here that the goal of launch is not just the sales, it's to train the algorithm to understand who your audience is, who your people are, who are you selling to, what are the keywords that people would search for to find your product. When most people think of launching on Amazon, they immediately think I need sales fast, but if that's your only focus, you're really missing the point. The real goal is to train the algorithm to understand who your product is for. To tell Amazon, these are my people, these are my keywords they use to find me, and this is what I sell. And every sale on Amazon is basically a data that feeds back into algorithm. You get a sale for a certain keyword, it's gonna feed into algorithm. You get another sale, it's gonna feed it again. And this repetitive action, it trains the algorithm in a way that basically it promotes these keywords towards page one, but we'll talk about it. If algorithm sees that connection enough times, like I said here, it's gonna make that connection and it's gonna start boosting your organic ranking for that keyword. So any keyword, say it was dog, pet, collar, you get enough sales, it's gonna start promoting your product up and up. So we are focusing on the quality of audience and not just the number of sales. So the keyword is audience. And that's where the long-term success comes from. It's not the spending the most money, but it's spending it on the right audience, aka keywords. There is actually a common misconception in place that every product that gets a honeymoon period, but what I want you to know is that it's not the product, it's a keyword, and it's maybe a new concept for you. But new products, they get honeymoon period on a keyword level for 2 to 3 weeks, where it boosts your organic rank. So what happens here is when your product gets its first sale on a keyword, Amazon boosts your ranking for that keyword specifically, this one keyword. But if you don't get another sale on that keyword, like let's say within 5 or 10 days, your rank is gonna drop. And then after 45 days, if you get no sales on that keyword, it's gonna be much harder to recover. And so we are talking about keyword specifically, this is where you get that honeymoon period. So you have this window of opportunity, but only if you're targeting the right keywords from the start. Now coming back to our discussion about match types. So we will be targeting only exact match types in the beginning, no broad, no phrase. Also, I would make an exception. It's a good idea to target broad match modified. And if you're not familiar with what that is, it's a broad match, but using pluses. So pet, toy, collar, small dogs. So you will only be getting traffic for search terms that have all of these words in place. So here you don't chase the high traffic at the start. You focus on the relevant traffic to your most relevant keywords. If you're selling lamp for bedroom, don't target lamp, but target lamp for bedroom, color, etc. Be as detailed as possible because you want to be sending that relevant traffic to Amazon. So here's how it works. When your product gets a sale on Amazon, it signals that honeymoon period, and then we need to keep sending the traffic that converts, and the only way to do it is through hyper relevant keywords. And you don't want traffic from people who aren't looking for your product. You want the people who are most likely to buy. So your hyper relevant keywords. That's why I recommend starting only with exact match types right here. No broad, no phrase, no auto. Again, broad match modified is okay for now. And then, because if you allow Amazon to spend it on the wrong search terms, you're training the algorithm to think that your product belongs to the wrong keywords, wrong places, and so on. So why broad auto campaigns are a mistake in the beginning of a product launch? Well, that's because the algorithm, it does not guess well. It is getting better over time. But if you let it guess, you may rank for the wrong terms, and it's basically wasted ad spend. You're giving it too much freedom with an auto campaign. It's gonna trigger all kinds of terms. Let's say you were targeting dog, toys. An auto campaign realistically is gonna pull all of these keywords at once for you. And some of them, maybe they're not as relevant, right? So you want to be really, really targeted. And yeah, like I said, the early launch is the worst time to let Amazon guess because it's a crucial time, this first 4 weeks. And if you don't, even if you spend money on the wrong keyword that relate to your product but aren't a perfect fit, you're confusing the system, which is basically comes down to wasted spend, wrong audience, and it's just draining your budget. That I know most of you have limited funds, maybe, so it's important to target the relevant stuff and not use this discovery type of campaigns. So why bad launches fail? The failures come from wrong keyword mapping. Keyword mapping is essentially you're targeting keywords and then you're doing that reverse async check that I'm doing here. Maybe first couple of days of your launch, and you're just seeing what keywords the algorithm map your products to. Say you're targeting dog toys. So ideally, well, maybe that's not a good example because I said we should be relevant. So let's say small. So you're targeting dog toys, small something something. So ideally, when you reverse search your ASIN, you should only be seeing that you're indexing for keywords with all of these keywords. All of these guys. And you want to make sure it's as relevant as possible. And another reason like why it fails is people like you're trying to appeal to everyone. If you have a small toy for dogs, like don't appeal to large dogs or etc., like large breeds. You want to be as targeted as possible. And trying to be everything to everyone instead of doubling down on the audience that actually cares. So this is a mistake here. Third one is poor listing content, title, bullets, and backend. They don't align with your keywords that you target. So you need to be having the same keywords in the title that you have in your PPC. So, and Amazon algorithm, it is looking for trust signals. Trust signals is gonna be a conversion rate. It's gonna be people spending, more time on your product page and actually deciding whether they want to buy it or not. So engagement. And then this is going to come from the relevant keywords, right? And if your listing is messy, if your title does not talk about one thing, it has a whole bunch of stuffing of different words, and your ads are something else, the algorithm, it loses trust and your organic rank drops as a result. So again, what are these trust signals? What is algorithm looking for? So it's going to be content alignment across title, bullets, description, and are your keywords consistent across your title, description, and backend? Is your pricing competitive enough, or are you like the most expensive or the cheapest item? And do your images match what customer expects when they search for these keywords? So what I actually recommend in your images, you include the exact keyword that you are targeting. We talked about earlier about dog toys, for example, broad term. So you'll add it right here, dog toys, so people know that it is for them. And as far as canonical URL goes, it's important. And if you don't know what that is, I'll quickly show you. It's basically these words in in the URL when you click on the listing. You can ask Amazon to update it, but before you create a listing, this is going to be generated based on your title. So I just recommend adding here the most relevant keywords possible because it is going to help you establish that relevance. So clean keyword-rich URL title for better indexing. Even it helps with Google. So titles can be optimized later, but canonical stays fixed. So like I said, you can ask Amazon to fix it for you through like support, but you want to get it right when you create that first listing on Amazon. So last thing I want you to leave this video is that the launch, it's not a 2-week thing. Sometimes it's 12 months or 18 months marathon. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's a long game. And then a real product launch, it takes 18 months, right? You're building momentum, data. It's not even after 2 months that you build it takes time. That means taking things one step at a time, not rushing into broad audiences, auto campaigns, product targeting, all this stuff that people want to try or like test. It's consistently about reinforcing your position on a few keywords that are important to the algorithm. So I would say 5 keywords, and you're consistently driving that sales volume over and over and over to reinforce relevancy. And then that builds rank. So your ad spend goes into specific keywords in exact match type over the first few weeks of your launch. And all of that is gonna result in your rank just shooting up. And that will not happen if you have an auto campaign. If you have an auto campaign, it triggers all kinds of keywords and it's just gonna be all over the place. So this is keyword breadth. So this is what keyword breadth means. You're not looking to go wide. You are looking to go very narrow and targeted. So 5 keywords. That's gonna help you build the relevancy rank and so on. So in the next video, I'll talk about how to set up the exact match type campaigns the right way that it forces the algorithm to, first of all, map these keywords to your product, and second of all, build relevancy and organic rank.